Hey, what's up, everybody? Didn't post this morning because I had a dental procedure yesterday and was having a severe reaction to it. I couldn't talk much at all. Was really trying to limit my talking, and so since went got some things taken care of. But it served as a good reminder in a few ways today of some things that are super important in recovery and in life in general. So, one for me, and this is something I've struggled with in definitely in addiction, but in recovery as well, is be willing to ask for help. I will make a long story very short and just say that at one point today, my wife came to me and said, "Would it help you if I did X, Y, Z?" And I needed that help today. But in my addiction, I would have said, "No, I'll be fine." And then I would have copped a resentment uh, because she wasn't willing to see through. She wasn't able to see through my obvious, feigning that I was going to be okay. We do such weird mind games when we're in our addiction. And so today I was able to just look at her and say, "Yeah, man, that would be a huge help." And I feel like it's an imposition, but yeah, it would be a huge help if you could do that. She was able to do it, no resentments. It was able to help me get some things done, and all is good. So that turned out good. The other thing, though, that I was prepared for is, you know, she might not be able to help me. And so we got to ask for help, but also be prepared if it's not available. And I knew in my head she had to check in with her boss to make sure she could take some time off this afternoon. And I knew in my head if her boss said no, that I could not hold that against my wife because the addict me would hold it against her. The addict me would come up with things to say, like, well, maybe she just didn't ask in the right way. Again, what messed up mind games we play when we're like this with people. But fortunately, I don't have to be like that today. I can know I ain't got to live like that no more. I can know that when people are trying to help me, if it doesn't work out, that's not their fault. And then I got to pick up and help myself from that point on. And that's another big part of this is I got to be willing to help myself, especially if there aren't people available to help me out. Can't just wallow in my misery. Got to stand up, take care of business myself. And so the last thing is that because it's going to sound weird, but because of what was going on and the severity of what was happening, I got this moment where I was like, "Oh shit, am I gonna contract some kind of blood infection and die from this?" And I got really anxious about it. And one of the things that I prided myself on is accepting my mortality and not being worried about death and things like that, and accepting that death could come at any time. But then when I'm faced with this potential reality, all of a sudden I get all anxious. And what that showed me was I've still got a little bit of work to do in terms of confronting my own mortality and really getting used to the idea that I could literally die at any second. Now, recognizing that I have more work to do in this area, back in my addiction and even sometimes in recovery, when I feel like I've got more work to do on something or that I could improve more, that would be a reason for me to look down on myself and to look at myself with pity. And I don't have to do that anymore. Now I can just accept that I've got things I can do to improve. And what a great skill to have that I can recognize in myself the things I can change to improve who I am. And then I can go and do that. And I've got friends and family around who can help me out with that. So that's the third thing that stood out today was just the fact that recognizing when you can improve doesn't mean that you have to get down on yourself for who you are in that moment. In fact, you should celebrate the fact that you can recognize that you've got improvements to make at all because Back in the day, I didn't do that. I didn't think about what I can do to improve. I thought about what all you guys could do to improve, what the rest of the world could do to improve. That's what I cared about. That's what I spent my time thinking about. I didn't think about what Brandon could do to improve. I didn't care about that. So anyway, just a few random thoughts that came as I was dealing with kind of a stressful situation today. Everything's good, nothing to worry about. But some things that reinforced for me the idea that this road of recovery that we're on, these lessons that we learn, all these cliches that we talk about, this is the good stuff that helps us stay on the right path and keeps us from turning back to booze, the bottle, to drugs when we're having tough times. So hope you guys are doing well. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit about the very last section of Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. And then the next day we will move on to a new book about relapse prevention. Talk to you all tomorrow.